heard a lot of zest from these two columns of students. I need to hear it from this column of students. Good morning, Cal Bears!
Good morning, Mr. Paul!
I heard great zest from Spencer. Let's try it one more time. This column of Cal Bears. Good morning, Cal Bears!
Good morning, Mr. Paul!
Much better zest. I see Galen sitting in sponge, Jada's sitting in sponge, and Dominique is sitting in sponge. I need two students to pass out all the do-nows this morning. Curious, you will be one. And let's see, why don't we have Miss Kayvana Banks be the other? Watch out for the cord.
Yes, sir.
As soon as you get a do-now, you are... As soon as you get a do-now, you may begin to work at a level 0. I will be giving Post-it notes and tickets to students who get all 4 answers correct on their do-now. Make sure you give 1 to do. Dominique, how did you complete your morning work this morning without counting? I'll be coming around just in a second with Post-it notes to students who have all their answers correct. Spencer, why do you need a pencil this morning? Where's your second one?
It's broken too.
Let's switch one up. I'll give you about 30 more seconds before I start coming around and looking at answers. I noticed that Caitlin is working hard. I noticed that Kyron has flipped his do-now over and is waiting for me to start coming around. is sitting in sponge, Nemo's sitting in sponge, Kayvana's sitting in sponge. Jalen, flip your paper over. Make sure your papers are flipped over to the front. That you're sitting in sponge. Read number 1 for me in a loud, clear voice. I was so impressed with my Cowbears this morning with the number of us that got every single one of them right. Read number 1 for me, please, Jacurious.
Nicholas Copernicus designed a heliocentric model of our universe. What does the word heliocentric mean?
What does the word heliocentric mean, class?
Sun-centered!
Wonderful. I saw so many students get that question right. I'm so proud of you. That is such a college level word. Read number 2 for me in a loud, clear voice. Jalen. Lift your head up. Jalen. Jalen, you need to speak up.
A group of stars that seems to make a pattern or shape in the night sky is called
A pattern of stars that seem to make shapes in the night sky are called what, class?
constellations.
Read number 3 for me in a loud, clear voice. Andre Harvey.
Johannes Kepler correctly described the shape of planets' orbits around the sun as blank.
As blank. Put fingers in front of your face if you think it is A, circular, B, rectangular, C, triangular, or D, elliptical. I'll give you 5 seconds to put your answer in front of your face. 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. The answer is what, class?
Elliptical.
Repeat after me. Elliptical.
Elliptical.
4, 2 post-it notes. Who can draw for me on our board what an elliptical orbit looks like? Who can draw for me what an elliptical orbit looks like? I'll call on a straight, tall, kip hand. Nehemiah. Nice interception there, Jacurious. Thank you for not letting it hit the ground. That was a bad throw by me. While we're waiting for Nemo to draw an elliptical orbit, wow. We don't have to wait long. Why is this an elliptical orbit?
Because it's not a circular, it's oval.
It's not a circle, but it's an oval. If you agree with Nemo, put a thumb up. If you disagree, put a thumb down. Waiting on Jalen. Fantastic. Nemo's absolutely right. The planets move in an elliptical motion, in an oval motion, around what object for 2 more post-it notes? Around what object do planets move in an elliptical orbit? I see a tall, straight, hip hand from Miss Caitlin Donaldson. Very good. I like how Caitlin used a complete sentence. They make an elliptical orbit around the sun. Nemo, erase it and go sit down. And read number 4 for me in a loud, clear voice. Nia Lindsay. Using a blank. Galileo. Using a blank, Galileo was the first to see moons orbiting Jupiter. What did he use, class?
A telescope.
Fantastic. I'm waiting for sponges from all my students before we have our ticket challenge this morning. I have it from Josiah, waiting from Nemo, and Dalen. I'll get to your question in just a second. Our ticket challenge, we actually had a new record get formed yesterday, once again by our friends over in the Hoyas. But I have a secret for you all. I think you can beat them. Malayas, don't be a slouch. I think you can beat them. Their record yesterday was, wait for it, 8.79 seconds. I have seen you all get very close to that before. You need to get under 14 seconds to get one post-it note. Completely silent at level 0, and everybody back to sponge, papers to the front. But I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. If you beat 8.79, it's not one post-it note. It's not two post-it notes. You may silently celebrate with your hands if you're excited. And back to sponge in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Josiah's there. He is there, waiting on the path. So, give him his paper back. Don't cheat me like that, Julius. So.
Pencils now.
Celebrate for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to spawn. I like how Galen went from fun to focus. Treasure did as well. Collect all the do-nows across the front for me, please, Makas. And I need a student to pass out 3 post-it notes to every student in this room. And that student is going to be Miss Jada. So, your eyes, while she's passing these out, your eyes need to be up on our science objective. I have Julius's eyes up on our science objective. I have Josiah's eyes. I have Tyra's eyes, waiting on Kennedy and Simone. Read our science objective in a loud, clear voice, please, Mr. Kyron Williams.
All people will be able to recognize and explain what is in our solar system, planets, asteroids, and comets.
So, we've talked a lot about the moon. We've talked a lot about the sun. We've talked a lot about the movement of the earth. We began to talk about stars yesterday. But one of the things that we haven't talked about so far is the other planets. What I want you to do with the person sitting next to you, and Josiah, you may talk to Dominique, and Kevana, you may talk with these two, is you may talk for the next 30 seconds about any planets that you know about. I don't know why you were in bed. I see that Malay is in Sponge, Dominique is in Sponge, and Nemo is in Sponge. Kevana and Jalen are there as well. Jalen, head up, please. So, What are some of the planets that you know about? What are some of the planets you know about? Raise a strong, straight, hip hand up in the air. What are some of the planets that you know about? Dalen, name me one.
Isn't there a planet called Helium Prime?
Nope, not quite. What's a planet that you know about, Josiah?
Jupiter.
Jupiter is one. Nemo?
If we could do a project on it,
We might.
I know.
We might do a project on this at some point. You said Neptune. What's another one for me? Saturn is another one. Roby? Pluto. We will be talking about Pluto in just a little bit. Pluto's special. We'll talk about it. Deandra. Venus is a planet, and I'll take two more. Rodney paired. Mars is one. And think about Spencer. Mercury. We didn't even mention the planet that we live on. What's the planet we live on, class? Fantastic. I need hands on desk. I realize that students are writing their names on Post-it notes, but you need to be sitting in sponge. Malaya, if you're with us, you need to take that sweatshirt off. So, what I need is I need two students to pass out. Touch your head, touch your shoulders, and robot song. Alright, I need two students to pass out worksheets for us. One will be Treasure Franklin, the other one will be Deandra Edwards. As soon as you get it, you need to put your name and date on it. I'm looking to give out Post-it notes to students who have their name and date and who are working back to sponge. So, read our objective for me again in a loud, clear voice, please. Dominique?
Our school will be able to recognize and explain what is in our solar system, including planets, asteroids,
And comets. So, we're going to learn today about all the different things that make up our solar system. So, what is the title of our text? I need somebody to tell me in a complete sentence the title of our text, Samar Jones.
In our corner of space.
Put that in a complete sentence, Samar.
The title is In Our Corner of Space.
Very good. The blue text. Today, we will have you read in your best, Mr. Paul. I'll pick. I will pick a student with a straight, tall, hip hand. Read it for me, please, in your best Mr. Paul voice. I really, really want to hear Curious is Mr. Moon.
You are familiar with Earth, the sun, and the moon. What are the other objects? Let me start over.
Take two. Action. All right, everyone. When I say take two, everybody can chop their hand and say action. Take two. Action.
You are familiar with Earth, the sun, and the moon. What other objects are part of the solar system?
Fantastic. We are going to read about the different objects that make up the solar system. Let's give Jacarius a hand, a hand, a hand. Not quite as good as your Mr. Penn impression that I heard last year. Well,
Check more. You are familiar with Earth.
all right. So, voices are off, hands are on desk, eyes are up on your text. I'm going to be coming around looking for students who have their hands on their desk and eyes on their text during this part. Read for me, starting with Earth. I haven't heard a lot today from Mr. Bent.
Earth and millions of other objects make up our solar system. Our solar system is made up of a star and planets and other bodies that revolve around it. The sun is the star at the center of our solar system.
Let's stop for a second. According to your text, how many objects are in our solar system according to our text? And then you have to come up and point out the sentence in our text. Andre, how many objects are in our solar system according to your text?
There are
Get a helping hand if you need one.
millions
Of
objects make up our solar system.
Come point out that sentence for me in our text where you found that detail. All right, the first sentence. Read that sentence for me, Andre.
Earth and millions of other objects make up our solar system.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andre. So, going to number 1 on your worksheet. Read it for me in a loud, clear voice. Deandra Edwards.
A blank is made up of a star and the planets and other bodies that revolve around it.
A blank is made up of a star and the planets and other bodies that revolve around it. What is that blank there? Kayvana Banks. Look at this word again. Is it scholar? Got it. Solar system. Your second question, what is the center of our solar system? What is the center of our solar system? Jada Willis, what's the center of our solar system? Put it in complete sentence for me.
The center of our solar system is
Come up and point out that detail in our text, please. Or a tick. Fantastic. So, what kind of space object is the sun according to that sentence that Jada just read? Dalen.
Oh, the sun is a star.
The sun is a star. The sun is actually not the biggest star in the entire universe. It is actually a medium-sized star. We will talk more about that later. We need to start reading with our solar system. Start reading for me in a loud, clear voice. I haven't heard a ton today from Mr. Rodney Perry. Can you see that? Thank you. Rodney and Jacarius, what I want you and back there actually to do is if it's not large enough, just put a thumb up in the air and I'll make sure that it's larger for you, okay? Is this good now? Oh, sorry. I'm looking again for hands on desk, eyes on text. I have hands on desk from Kyra and Jalen, and eyes from Julius and Ivana on the text. Keep reading for me, Rodney.
Our solar system has 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. A planet is a large round body that revolves around the star in a clear orbit. The solar system has...
Let's stop. Alright, so read number 3 for me on your worksheet, please, for me, Mackay Smith. Read number 3 for me on your worksheet for me, please, Mackay Smith.
A blank is a large round body that revolves around a star in a clear orbit.
What is that blank, Mackay? Planet. Planet. Absolutely correct. What are the 8 planets? And point out the sentence that tells me what those 8 planets are and read it for me. Why don't you come up and do that, Dominique? Start to write them. Nemo, do you need me to make that even a little larger?
Our solar system has 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.
Fantastic. And point to the center for me. I know you just read it. Thank you. So, our 8 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Make sure that you are writing those 8 planets in. When you're done, you're sitting in sponge. We're going to take a lot of time over the next couple of days and weeks learning about the different planets and doing some labs with them and hopefully maybe even a project towards the end of January. So, when you're done, you're sitting in sponge with your eyes on me. All right. So, we mentioned a planet earlier. Julius mentioned it for us. Julius, what planet did you mention earlier when we were talking about planets?
I mentioned Pluto.
We're going to learn about Pluto. Back when Miss Wright and I were your age, we had 9 planets in our solar system. But scientists got together and talked about Pluto, and we're going to read about Pluto and what makes Pluto so special and different, and why we no longer consider it one of our planets. Rest in peace, Pluto. All right. Start reading with the solar system in a loud, clear voice I haven't heard today from Tyler.
The solar system has smaller objects to
Dwarf.
Planets such as Pluto are nearly round bodies whose orbits cross those of other bodies.
We'll stop for a second. So, did they describe Pluto? What did they call Pluto here? Andre. It's a dwarf planet. It's a dwarf planet. Pluto is actually smaller than some of the moons that are around Jupiter. And that's one of the reasons why it isn't a planet anymore as far as a large planet. It's a dwarf planet. The other reason is about its orbit. What does your text say about Pluto's orbit and that of dwarf planets? Hiram.
Large planets such as night are nearly round bodies with orbits across those of other bodies.
So that's Pluto, correct? So what do they say about the orbits?
They say that it has round bodies.
So, but they cross orbits of different planets. So, one of the biggest reasons why Pluto is no longer a planet, Julius, and why I am so sad, but this is true, that sometimes when we had 9 planets, the furthest one from the sun was Pluto most of the time, but Pluto actually sometimes switches places with Neptune. So Neptune would have been the 9th planet because sometimes their orbits crossed one another, and Neptune would become the 9th planet. And it's believed that Pluto partially orbits Neptune as well as orbiting the sun. So that's why it's no longer considered the 9th planet of our solar system. Instead, we have how many planets, Dalen? 8.
What would have been
8.
What would have been the 9th planet because Neptune and Pluto are still planets, so which one would have been the
Pluto's not one. Pluto's a dwarf planet, which means it's not considered one of our larger planets.
What's the other planet? that make the 9th?
Neptune is one. It would have been Pluto added onto that. We didn't have Pluto on our list. We have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So, voices are off, hands are on desks. Andre, I'll answer your question in just a little bit. We need to keep reading though. So, keep reading here.